What's good, YouTube? It is your boy Thesis, aka Thesis himself, from Vaping with Thesis. That's right, God bless it. Now look, okay, mother truckers, the peep game, son. Today we have got the SV MyPod 1 system. Welcome to Up Close and Personal with your boy Thesis. Now today we have got the MyPod system by Smoking Vapor. I cannot stress to you how frustrating that makes me that their name is Smoking Vapor for the obvious reason. Smoking is not vaping, vaping is not smoking. They are not to be used interchangeably, and you cannot use them interchangeably. They are not the same thing. That's legitimately like saying driving a semi is the same thing as walking to the store. It's not even remotely close. Yes, they'll both give you nicotine, but smoking is not safe and vaping is much safer. Perfect example, with smoking, a lot of people believe that nicotine is actually the dangerous chemical that's in cigarettes, which is not the case. Nicotine is about the same or a little less harmful than something like caffeine. So first and foremost, when you see the box, the first thing that jumps out at you is this beautiful purple chrome that's in the background. I do like that. I think it does look pretty. It does make it a little bit difficult to read, but it's not a big issue. It is a small device. It is a small box. As you push this open, you see the presentation box. Open it up, clamshell situation going on. Smoking Vapor, delete that. Get that the f off the product. This, in my opinion, is a part of what up the vape industry in terms of its perception. Warranty card, Smoking Vapor limited warranty, beautiful, shows you the information front and back. You can register it via mail. Why would you? I'm not necessarily sure. Throw that to the side. The manual is extremely straightforward, and so is the device. There's a button just below the micro USB charging port. Bam. Open it up and it shows you each and every one of the parts, including the pod itself. Fairly straightforward. I mean, you want to fill the pod through the correct hole. You don't want to stick it directly down, and that's something that it's worth mentioning for beginner vapors. So you do receive this device with two pods. Two empty pods that sit over here on the left-hand side. Pop it out. Pods that you take one of the little rubber condoms off the pod. You flip her upside down. You open this little tab. You take your nicotine salts or whatever you may be using, which you can definitely use a non-nicotine salt with this device. It really depends on your flavor or your taste in terms of liquid. This is a 40 milligrams, so 4% nicotine. It's fairly different than something like a VG blend or even a 50-50 blend. It vapes completely different. You would never put this, for example, in a tank. I only use my nicotine salts with pod systems. Place your pod into the mod itself. Click 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on that little button, and you're good to go. Woo! I'm so impressed. 100% of the time, I'm so impressed with the amount of vapor this thing produces. This one I believe I'm rocking strawberry blonde in, which is delicious. Pop the top, little foam piece, accessories box. You do get a 6-inch cable. In terms of the cable, it's pretty weak. I mean, I prefer like at least a 1 foot to a 14-inch cable. This one is okay. It's rubberized. It's not bad. It's not good. It's kind of unique. It's got this smaller USB 2 style. Micro USB, it's meh. I would just simply use a longer one. It does come with a cute little lanyard. It's nice to have. I do enjoy having one of these little lanyards, but it's not a keychain, and nor should it be treated as such. It's got a 950 milliamp hour battery that's built in, which for me has been more than enough for an all-day vape. Now with that being said, this device feels extremely high quality. It's not something where it's so heavy you know the whole thing's made out of metal, because it's not. You can definitely tell that the exterior is a sticker. Matter of fact, let me grab a knife and we're gonna go ahead and see if this is easily, yep, sure is. The exterior is a sticker. It's kind of a foamy kind of sticker. It's not metal. Yeah, so you could peel this right off if you wanted to. The exterior is definitely a beautiful print. I love the way this looks. It actually kind of reminds me of this knife. And it is plastic, like I said, but it's definitely something that's light enough to where every time I've dropped it, I've never been worried about breaking it, except for maybe once or twice the pod has come out. I've been rocking this thing for about a week and I've had zero, and I mean zero flavor loss with this pod. I bought 2 extra, I think for 10 bucks. To me, that is a perfect price point. Even if they only last 2 weeks a piece, you're talking about 10 bucks a month. Now, we did pick this up from VaporDNA.com. I think it was around $50. Maybe 53 bucks after everything was all said and done. If you're looking at pod systems and you want something that's high quality, you can't get much better than this from my experience. Now, there are some decent pod systems out there. I know that the Ply Rock was pretty good, but for me, the flavor on the pods with the Ply Rock really didn't do my menthol justice. Now, the airflow on this is a bit airy for it being an MTL. If I were to make a suggestion on them changing something, it wouldn't be to change the pods necessarily. It would be to have 2 different styles, one being an MTL and one being an MTL Plus. I know that seems kind of odd to have one that's an MTL Plus and not necessarily a direct lung, but I do think that these reservoirs are too small to actually have a full-blown direct lung. I think this would be amazing if this was a little bit tighter for an MTL, or even if it was just where it's at, but I would call this an MTL plus. Definitely not just an MTL. It does have an extremely easy indicator light, so every time you take a puff it turns blue, and blue means the battery's full, purple means it's right in the middle, and red of course means that it's dead. Once you see the red light, you definitely want to get it on the charger. You don't want to run the risk of over discharging your battery. Again, I think it looks absolutely beautiful. There's something like, I think it was 8 different colors that were available. Now when I was posting the link in the description for this device, I did pop this out real quick and take a look. These connections inside of the device itself seem to be brass, whereas this here looks more like it's gold plated. Now, if these are actually gold plated, I'm extremely impressed because these are disposable reservoirs. And the fact that they're taking the time to actually plate the contacts, to me that says that these reservoirs are actually designed to have the longest coil life possible. Now, in terms of ergonomics, it is pretty small. This for me is something that's perfect to have in your fifth pocket, in your jeans, or to even have in your purse. I not only love having this mount on me for a backup, but also for a mainstay if I'm going to a job site. Hawkeye smell the truckers. Now, with that being said, my final thoughts on this before we get back to regular view is this. If you're looking for something that's affordable, easy to use, and pocket friendly, this thing is perfect. I'm actually going to replace one of the links in my description for my favorite quitter setup to this. This will be replacing my Joytech AIO system that I preferred to give to people for quitting smoking. This is definitely going above and beyond that, in my humble opinion. And real quick, before I forget, the amount of liquid that you can fit in here is 2 milliliters, but with a salt e-liquid, you're not vaping on this as much as you would, say, on a 100-watt device. For me, 2 milliliters has lasted me an entire day. Let me say that again. This device battery life and the 2 milliliters has lasted me the entire day. And again, that would be something between 6 and 8 hours. No issues. Bitch, it's okay, smell the truckers. Now with that being said, let's go and get back to regular view, son. Welcome back to regular view, son. Guys, so real quick, my final summation is this. The SV MyPod. P.S. I refuse to call them smoking vapor. If you're gonna be in the vape industry, you need to disassociate yourself with smoking. Smoking is not vaping, vaping is not smoking. Smoking is defined by the particulate matter that's in smoke. If you look at smoke, whether it be smoke from a campfire, whether it be smoke from a cigar or from a cigarette, doesn't matter. There's actual particulate in the smoke. Vapor is by definition not smoke. It is by definition steam. There is zero particulate in vaping. This is by far and away my favorite pod system to date. SV did not send out this pod system. I purchased this with my own money, and it was money well worth it in my humble opinion. I am using salt e-liquid, by far and away the best salt liquid that I've tried. Granted, I haven't tried many brands of salt. However, right now I do have that Raven's Cut tobacco mixed with the butterscotch by Salt E-Liquid. This setup is going to earn a permanent link in my description. If you know anybody who's trying to quit smoking, this would be the device to purchase for them. A lot of times what I've noticed is somebody who smokes cigarettes or even cigars or chews and they want to quit generally won't do it unless they have a push into it. My fiance's father probably wouldn't have quit, or at least not as quickly, had it not been for me actually handing him the device. I gave him the device, I showed him how to use it, I gave him the cable, the liquid, the whole 9 yards, the batteries, and that way he was able to quit. He quit immediately. It took less than a couple of days for him to get completely off a cigarette. And that's a perfect situation and scenario of somebody who probably would not have ventured out to a vape shop or even a tobacco shop. A lot of people feel confused when they first look at this stuff. If you can afford to give somebody a system like this, 2 extra pods, this system, and a liquid, you're giving them the chance to quit smoking. It is phenomenal. Now, it's not just for somebody who's quit smoking. This is a perfect setup even for me. I put this in my fifth pocket in my Levi's when I go to a work site, and it's something where I don't have to worry about bringing something like this. I do have this on me at all times because of the menthol, but when I'm in a pinch, this stays on me no matter where I'm going. If I'm going to the mall, if I'm going to the store, if I'm about to work on the dirt bike, if I'm about to work on the four-wheeler, it doesn't matter. This is so easy to have in my pocket, I don't even realize it's there. Look at my phone. Compare this to my phone. This is where I keep my credit cards and my ID, my permit to carry, all that stuff, plus the case, plus the phone. Then look at this. The MyPod system is actually thinner than the girth of my phone. The only time that I had an issue was the moment I took it out of the box and I threw the pod in, threw the liquid in, threw the pod in, and it was blinking that it was showing there was a short. The only reason why there was a short was because the 2 contacts had a bit of liquid on it. Other than that, I wiped it off, popped her in, and called it a day. The vapor production on this is ridiculous. If you look at the early days of pod systems, we didn't have devices like this. And even though this harkens back to, say, the number 7 days, the blue e-cig days, it does so with class. meaning it takes something that's old technology and not only revamps it to the point where it's usable again, but to the point where it's actually ahead of the game, it's ahead of the curve. And again, I know that this isn't the newest device out there, but to me that's less important than finding something that works. On Thesis's patented finger compatibility scale, this thing, oh man, so before I recorded this video, I write everything down in my notebook, and I was really bordering on between like 9 to a 9.5, the highest I've ever given any pod system that I've used. In fact, some of the pod systems I have used, you guys have never even seen because they were so bad, I wasn't even motivated to record a review on them. So if you have not noticed, I have changed the format of the channel. Since 2017 and prior, 2018 and on, I want to have a much cleaner channel, more informative, something that's a little bit better suited for the mass audience. With that being said, I am working on a podcast. It is 100% official, as well as official Thesis Himself and NinjaMilitia merch is in the works. Huge shout out to Vital Traffic Labs. My boy Derek DeMike hooked me up with Cali Stitches. I'm gonna go ahead and leave Derek's YouTube channel in the description. Check out their channel, it's super interesting. He shows from the point where he quit his job and he's documenting every step that he's taken to build this business. The camera work is phenomenal and the content is excellent. When those t-shirts, hats, sweatshirts, and stickers are available, you guys will be the first ones to know. Patreon will be the first receivers of it. So if you join Patreon at the $20 level, you will be set up with a t-shirt immediately. As soon as I have them in my hands, I will ship those bad boys out. Bitch, with that being said, do not forget to hit me up on Snapchat at ThesisHimself, Instagram at ThesisHimself, Twitter at ThesisHimself, and patreon.com/ThesisHimself. On a side note, huge shout out to my Instagram followers. We just got to 20,000 followers. I'm trying to get the channel to be at the same rate and to grow at the same rate. We're just about to tip 19,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel. I have a giant amount of love in my heart. Much appreciated to each and every one of y'all Ninja Kitties. Bitches, now with that being said, I want to tell y'all that I appreciate y'all for vaping with Thesis. It is your boy Thesis. I'm out.